Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 13 World Quarterfinals, the final game of a long day of high-intensity postseason Onward action. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's, and I'm joined by my co-caster Jamie to get into our last matchup of the quarterfinals, an NA team versus a OCE team, OJC versus Resurgence. How are you feeling today, Jamie?
Super excited for this matchup now, Fire. It's going to be a fantastic game. Two very, very different kind of play styles coming out. A lot of experience on both sides here. I think this is probably the game that people really have been waiting for all day to watch. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly is a hype matchup. I think every game today has been one that people have wanted to tune into, whether it's an NA-EU battle, an NA-OCE battle, an EU-OCE battle. We had them all today, and the one thing we didn't see was an NA-EU battle. We had, of course, that already happening over the course of 15 weeks of regular season gameplay for these teams to qualify in the top 8 within their region. We then had last weekend the top 8 battle it out for 3 teams to qualify from each region. 3 from EU, 3 from NA, and 2 from OCE. OJC is one of 2 that has qualified into those world finals, and now with 8 teams, we've had today 4 games played, 4 best of 5s. We've got 3 EU teams advancing on into the finals. Will we have an NA squad or an OCE team representing as that final and 4th spot? That's what's going to be decided here this afternoon. The semifinals with those top 4 teams is live next weekend, Saturday, October 29th. And so do be sure to tune in and check out that action. But we have gameplay ahead of us, Jamie, that we got to look forward to. It's, again, OJC versus Resurgence. As you see beneath me, we have a bunch of bans, a bunch of TBDs. The home team, OJC, gets to ban the first map. The away team, the away team, Resurgence, bans the second map. In a best of 5, the home team gets to pick 3 maps. The away team picks 2. Home team picks the first map. And so this is OJC's map pick that we're going to on map number 1, which is going to be Subway. And what do the regular season stats tell us about this, Jamie? Is this a pick that because it's a map that OJC is confident in? Or are they trying to go against Resurgence? What is the choice here for map number 1 from OJC?
Well, to start off with, this map, it's a very, very commonly played map for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
You can see it pretty much every single week, and it's definitely played a lot in the general lobbies. So these sides going to be, going to have played this quite a lot. So in league season, it does seem like the OJC have played this 8 times and won it 7, and Resurgence have played it 9 times, won it 7 as well.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty. It's going to be a good one, but with a little bit of a tidbit of information, OJC haven't actually played this in a league match in about a month, whereas Resurgence played it every single week for about 3-4 weeks solid, like the last season. So, yeah, there's some playtime on it, really. So I wonder if OJC are going to be warmed up and prepared as, I guess, what Resurgence possibly could be.
Yeah, and again, this is a matchup that doesn't happen in the regular season. We don't have these teams playing against each other during regular season, and so even those regular season statistics may not give us an accurate reflection of what we're going to see here this afternoon. You know, it's a curious argument. It's one that's been made, and it really is what this World Finals is about. What region is the best, right? What region has the toughest? Who is getting hardened the most in their regular season gameplay? And I mean, hey, this EU side definitely doing well in the postseason. The best of 5 format, they're executing well on, taking it down into the final 5 matches for our 2 afternoon games, doing well against OCE earlier in the day. And so I'm curious what we're going to get here this afternoon from both these squads. I can guarantee it's going to be some good quality Onward as we do finally jump into it. OJC on the attack, Resurgence on defense. Round 1 kicking off with a little a little celebration there from Resurgence as they do get ready to dive in, and we'll see how the team defends on their approach, as it looks like OJC stacking heavily in the north side.
Oh, this is going to be a heavy, heavy push. Goddess Shinobi going over with a C4, instantly takes 2 down. Force the refrag, actually there. 2 get taken out very quickly there. Yuri goes down also to Goddess Shinobi. Oh my goodness, what a play there by Goddess Shinobi. Nice C4, great follow-up with the flash and just pushes round. Devastating really for the OJC side now. They've got to attack on the north with only 2 attackers to take on 4 defenders.
Yeah, a big, powerful trade there, and it makes me wonder that are Resurgence even going to be ready for more to be here on the north, honestly. As utility comes in, Rambo gets caught by a long toss, and the on-objective defense isn't exactly strong. Faded is here, prone, tucked in behind a box, just trying to stay unseen by this OJC squad. Yeah, another nade comes in. On-objective defense is down. OJC have opened up entry onto the objective. Where's Chawai? Where are the reses? Where's the crash track? Reese on the flank coming up the stairs. Do they see them? No, CK is not ready for this. Down they go. Is Ryota going to be ready to rotate back here? Ryota does turn around. The callout's coming in, and they're going to catch Ree. We're into a 1v3 as reses come through, and Chawai starts to apply pressure over onto this side. Ryota might find even more action here soon, but we are into the thick of it. Trades, nades, utility, it's all coming out here right now.
Don't make these plays in the very first round. That's not what you do. You can't set us up for this on the deck. What a... Oh, wow. Just Chewy there with a great rotation, knows where the attack was coming from to finish off the defense there, but wow, just what an opening round there. The C4, the 2 nades, and that was very close to being an OJC win, maybe even a cap there. Yeah. That was fantastic, that was.
I mean, we're off to the races, as they say. Resurgence do take their defensive round, but OJC absolutely contesting. I mean, it's interesting, too. I was wondering where the utility was on the short corner when the C4 came up and over. You know, they could have used a nade there to try and deny entry. Oftentimes, you'll see teams throw their utility at that north corner to prevent the push so they can get the reses. But, I mean, maybe losing 3 was the better option because, man, those nade tosses were so on point. And if they had just been pushing off of those nade tosses, you know, there could have been, like you said, a cap opportunity on that objective. Good on Ree to flank. And actually, I mean, very risky for Ree to flank too because of how far away they were from that objective. It ultimately does pay off. And, well, I wonder if OJC are going to be adapting to this now, you know, recognizing that Resurgence might challenge them on defense early. You know, and you have to pick up on these play styles right away and try and shift off of them because at this level, with where we're at in the postseason, again, you haven't played each other, and so you really have to be reactive to what you're seeing when your opponent does deploy C4 strategies like that.
Yeah, there's so many things you've really got to be kind of watching for, especially in these first few rounds, like that flank from Ree. You know, that's something OJC now need to be kind of prepared for it when they're on their future attack rounds. They know that Resurgence are going to do that, despite 2 players being down. They are going to be committed to that, so it's something that you really need to be watching out for. It brings an air of kind of paranoia to your attacks, really, and you know, you're always going to be wondering, is there going to be somebody there? So just fantastic plays from both sides, and I imagine Resurgence are going to be panicking on the attacks of those 5-man pushes and those nades. They're just on point, but yeah, it's a very similar spawn for Resurgence. We are going to see 3 pushing up from the cell sector stairs. Kind of common push for this objective. It's a very good push. You go down into the sex alley, into the south alley, and kind of challenge the defense on the distance. And Koguru going to push around on that corner there. Goddess Shinobi, though, watching, able to take him down, and that just means that Resurgence now are going to be able to approach uncontested, really, straight through this south alley and get themselves around on the objective. And that's not kind of a position you want to be in for the marketplace objective, and Rambo getting a nice pick there into the sex alley, and these pushes are slowly opening up.
Yep, it's going to come down to CK holding this lane. They do manage to catch Rambo with the quick refrag on the corner. They lose their objective defense. Smokes are here. Where is Yuri? They have to come crashing back. The Resurgence have 5 alive to push onto this objective. Chwai could take Tablet out and push here, but they're just going to find the kill, and Resurgence don't lose a single on the attack. They take 2 rounds out the gate on OJC's map pick. It's definitely looking good for Resurgence. They are starting leading with aggression, Jamie, and now we go to a north objective where I think we're going to continue to see even more aggression here, especially with this objective placement. I mean, well, Resurgence just have to keep playing like they've been playing.
Yeah, it's I mean, this objective, it's a tough one to really call. You know, we saw that utility usage that was on point from both sides,
Sure.
and this objective again does come down to that utility usage. You're potentially going to have the aggressive push on the north sets of stairs. We know OJC are going to probably push all together, so a 5-man push on those north sets of stairs is pretty devastating, really, for the defense when they're down there. You're going to have a defender over in the south because you know that that side needs to be covered. So if they're a little bit too far away, then potentially, you know, that cap can come out, and yeah, you're 2 points ahead and feeling pretty good. So anything could happen, really. We could see the flank coming in from the overpass also. Like we say, you know, Ree went for that last time. If he knows that the 5-man push is coming from the top of the stairs, you'd be silly not to potentially take that chance. But again, you're then throwing somebody off the objective. So lots of different kind of plays do come into play, really, with this objective. Cannot tell.
Getting back into it for round number 3. As Resurgence certainly open things up with a powerful beginning. We'll see if they can keep this momentum going as they do go on to defense in the north. They are certainly locked in and staring down an opportunity to take away a map from their opponent's map pick, and that's really valuable, especially when home gets 3 map picks to the 2 of Resurgence. If you can take one away, you're really getting that favor back into your hands as the away team. And so utility does come in with that perfect nade toss into the corner. Again, really good utility toss. Chwai trying to bait out, you know, false down calls, but I don't know that it would really know. They speak different languages, so I don't know how effective that false call out is, but yeah, Chwai is still here on the corner alive and well, and OJC have not committed to charging forward just yet.
No, not yet. And we've only seen one nade come out there. Chwai with a nice pick there onto CK does get the confirm. Also, Yuri and Ryota, danger close in this corner here. One nade could take both of them down. Not going to be a position that you want to really be in. Chwai going to approach onto that corner, and the trade is going to come out. So now it's Yuri versus Rambo. Rambo coming out on the corner. Very dangerous playing there. Yep, and Ree going for that, is going for the flank potentially. He's going on the long route round, though, through Sex Alley. That does seem to be the position, though, that isn't being covered. Kogaru is watching and waiting for anyone to come from the overpass itself. But if he isn't watching for anyone coming through the market, potentially then Ree's going to get back through. And you've still got the danger with Rambo on that corner. So at the moment, OJC are pretty much sandwiched between these defenders. It's going to be a tough one. Kogaru goes down, and that gives Massa the knowledge now that that flank is going to come in. He's now got to watch that corner. So now we're down to one attacker on the north corner. And then we got one trying to watch from the kind of south over here. Massa going around goes down to Ree now. So we're in a 1v4. Or 1v3, should I say, and this is not looking good.
Yeah, Yuri is pinched. They're tucked into the darkest corner that they can get into on this map, and if Ree isn't holding night vision, it's going to be tough to ID Yuri here. Yuri can't connect on the shots, and Ree flies the corner, catches the kill. Resurgence, well, they go up 3-0 here on map number 1, and now they're looking at an opportunity to take a cap if they wanted to on this north side, which would put them up 5-0. Not necessary, but they are still on this north OBJ. They are playing well, and right now they are running away with at least map number 1 up 3-0.
Yeah, it's the aggression here is potentially going to be very difficult to kind of deal with from the bottom of those stairs. So if OJC really want to have a chance at this one, I think they need to get that defender on the flank and potentially going through. But with the plays so far, it's going to be tough to build all that confidence and the momentum really to commit to that push, because you've really got to commit to the flank. And yeah, it's going to take something like that. But who knows? You know, the C4s are devastating for this one as well. So with the nades that we did see from OJC, we know that they can throw them down into the market. And if Resurgence are stacked up somewhat like they were before, then those nades are going to take them all down. So yeah, I think OJC could potentially hold this one out, but let us see.
Let us see the north push coming in from Resurgence, or is it? As they do send 2 down into the basement to likely push in from the south. Resurgence could be looking for a bit of a split. They've been pinching in on this defense and offense all day today so far, so what's to say that that's going to change? At the very least, it's going to be only one pushing in from the north. The Shinobi tosses some flashes, a little bit of counter utility does come in up over the top. And again, well-placed tosses. I mean, this OJC team really does know how to place their utility pieces. They're not botching very many of these ones as they do flash up and over. They'll be able to get past and push Shinobi onto the corner before Faded or Shinobi can see, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 kill. More utility comes in as Masa's trying a page out of Resurgence's book, rotating in for that big flank, but they can't catch Rambo, who's ready and waiting. It could have been nice to get things moving, but now there's a Molotov preventing any pushing in from the north for a couple of seconds, and Resurgence, well, they're also still advancing in from the south. There's now Ree and Chawai are making their efforts and push known here in the middle of this platform.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult one now, as Resurgence are going to be able to get super close to the objective and be able to just hold nice angles on the corners and just basically wait for any of the defenders to push through. Ree does spot Ryota there in the corner by the Coke can machine, and yeah, that's another defender down, 2 to try and hold out, and it's going to be a bit of a tough one. Chawai now pushing in, danger close on the objective. We've got the north push coming in. CK knows that he's got to kind of rotate down. Fady pushing in there, does take him down.
Chawai just stood there. I don't know what Chawai was doing. They didn't push up and go for the cap. They do lose their other one on the other side, though, and then Ree blind fires through smoke to find the kill. 3 left alive for Resurgence. They take map 1 4-2-0. This is not looking good for OJC, losing their first map pick. Now Resurgence go into their map choice for map number 2. Looking great for the NA side of things. Resurgence absolutely playing well here on Subway, and they're going to keep it close quarters because clearly that's working for them. We're going to Cargo for map 2.
Yeah, it is a tough one on Subway. You know, aggression does tend to pay off, and now we're going into another map where the aggression certainly will tend to pay off as well. So it does seem like OJC really need to try and work out how best they can just defend against that and then move on. They know that there's going to be a defender kind of looking around and running around, so that's what they've got to be watching out for and take that down on the attacks. And on those defenses, just really hunker down, get some nice angles, and just wait and get some of that good equipment usage that we've already seen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We'll see if we do get some of that action here this afternoon, because again, you really do have to read into how your opponents are playing. You know, you have to recognize their play styles and then adjust accordingly. And I don't know if we're seeing or will see that adjustment come in here from OJC, but they really do have to, like you say, recognize this Resurgence aggression, because it is heavy. You know, they are, like you said, pushing for those big flanks, big risky flanks that if you can predict are coming, then you can kind of execute off of. And granted, that's super hard to do, and you know, there's well, at this point, not really too many opportunities to be flanked on a map like Cargo. And so I imagine, if anything, Resurgence are really just looking to go head-to-head right now against OJC. OJC really should be ready for a cap attempt to come out here for round number 1, as we do get into map number 2 already. 4 rounds, 4 points, 1 map into the hands of Resurgence. Can they do it again, or will OJC battle back here on Resurgence's map pick for map number 2?
Yeah, and opening up with a pretty good objective, really. It's an objective that can be kind of capped on, and there's a few angles that you really have to be watching out for. The building, that's the main one. Nice nade there, does take down God of Shinobi, and there we go. There's the aggression for Ree, gets taken down by a nice D4 there. It does seem like OJC are reading the situation and reacting really well. That equipment usage is devastating to fast plays, and that is just perfect. Another nade comes out to take down Rambo. The revive will come out, but now that just means that a single bullet will take him out the game. And OJC are looking strong on Resurgence's map pick. This is just great, really. You know, they have worked it all out, and if they can continue with this, then this is going to be, you know, a long game.
Yeah, exactly what they needed as we do get into round number 1 here. And we saw great utility from OJC on Subway. What's to say that's going to change? One thing that's interesting, too, is we're seeing Molotovs getting utilized by this team. Not a lot of teams do bring that Molotov in.
No, they really don't, but Rambo has taken down CK, and now Faded has taken down Yuri. Like that, we have just down to a 2-3. Rambo getting danger close to the objective. You can cap from inside that building, but doesn't need it as the attack does, or the onslaught just comes in there, surrounds the remaining defenders, and just takes them down. So, yeah, it's the aggression definitely paid off right at the end there.
Map 2. Going firmly to Resurgence, at least that first round was. It was looking so good for OJC, and it really, I think that's going to be a key element in getting them rounds here, is to connect on that utility usage, because they can do it. They have good utility. I mean, they really are cooking their nades just right to catch those kills, and they found, if anything, the majority of their kills off of utility against Resurgence. And so, you know, we'll see how much of a factor that is on their offensive push, because if you can connect with utility when you're trying to push it onto a defense, then that's, I think, even more powerful.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, there's so many common kind of positions that you have to take on Onward or on certain maps, and it's knowing them, and with nades just like that, you can certainly be able to take out defenders. You've got the barrels over in the north, you've got the yellow room push, you've got the kind of containers on the back left corner. So you know what positions people are going to take. So I am anticipating that confirming nades really to come out and just get those initial picks. And like you say, you know, you start getting those defenders down, they know they've got to then be rotating. So with a team like OJC, they're going to be watching a lot of angles. They will spot those rotations and they will go for those kills. They just really need to watch out now for anyone pushing through the containers and getting around behind them.
Resurgence very likely to apply some aggressive pressure up through the middle, and there's the utility. A great shutdown onto Reed, trying to push up into the crates. Chihuahua denying Yuri the rotation over onto the side, and Resurgence continue to stay forward and aggressive up against this OJC team. And what we are seeing here is OJC playing a little bit more conservatively out the gate on offense, at least, really trying to allow this defense coming to them. Another utility comes in, oh, but it's just a smoke. Wow, that was another perfect toss that could have caught 2 if it was a grenade. Kogaru, unfortunately, not able to connect with that nade, and it's going to be Chihuahua is going to peek on the backside of the smoke. There's one for Ryota. They can't find 2, and Chihuahua is going to make that final kill come true. Resurgence with 4 left alive on defense, apply pressure to the offense to get the round win. And again, I think OJC read it. You know, they have to just really stick. You have to play on defense for 5 minutes against this Resurgence team right now. If you're on OJC, you just have to sit back and let them come to you, even if you're attacking, because they will. And, you know, we saw good nades again connecting. It's just a matter of not playing into the Resurgence hand, because right now Resurgence are running away with momentum. 6 unanswered points. OJC's close to taking a couple, but no cigar quite yet.
No, and it is tough, really, you know. It's knowing, have I actually even got that person with the nade? There's obviously a couple that you have, you know, the player has witnessed, but then there's also probably been a couple nades that have just come to the back of the crates, and they possibly haven't been able to identify that that player has gone down. You know, I mean, with those nades and what they're doing, maybe if they had a bit of a counter-aggression themselves as the nades go off, they potentially could find themselves, A, picking off those players, and B, picking off the people going for the revives. I guess, like, you've just got to identify what is working and then kind of go with that. And I guess that's the tough part of Onward, is kind of closing out those little plays that you do.
Another Molotov being lit by CK here. Let's see. how that gets utilized as they push up for their defensive round. Objective swapped. Maybe it'll be enough to get OJC an opportunity to get back into this. As Koguru tries to throw aggression at Resurgence on their push and can't quite connect onto any kills. Chawai still able to advance forward here relatively undetected. Yuri is holding a line. Maybe it's a late angle there. As CK getting challenged on the corner. C4 detonated. CK still here. The Molotov comes down, kind of pauses Shinobi and Ree from applying too much pressure, but CK runs into two more. Chawai and Rambo are there, and now the push coming in from Resurgence as they pick up more and more kills. The shotgun coming in as Ryota does manage to get one. Yuri goes down on the side, and Resurgence are up 3-0. This is Resurgence in the NA side running away with this series. 7 unanswered points now. If they take this one, it's only one more map, and they will be advancing into the semifinals to represent the North American region. OJC have to collect themselves here. Maybe a timeout, maybe something to refocus, but they've come close to winning a few rounds. They just need to, again, lock in those last couple of kills, but whether it's the aggression that's catching them off guard, I'm not sure. Again, I think this offensive round, they need to play defense to really try and throw something different at Resurgence, but I don't know if OJC is reading enough into their opponent's strategy and play style, because right now Resurgence are really just holding their thumbstick forward.
Yeah, it's like we say, it's a tough one. Maybe they need some more kind of defensive smokes just to block the sides of Resurgence while they're trying to get through that aggression, pick them off, pick them out when they come out the smoke. It's just a lot of things that they really need to be kind of trying here, and at the moment I'm not really seeing that. We're seeing the kind of same plays. They've recognized that the equipment usage is strong, but it's just finding that final second. Fury there with that nade takes down God of Shinobi. Koguru being the more aggressive kind of OJC player getting around on this corner may not be able to actually see that he's down. Re going for the revive will be able to get that. So there's another one that has just come back. They do seem to be taking down the team, but the revives are just constant at the moment, and they're just not able to recognize that. Chawai with a nice pick onto Massa, and with that pick, he may get a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing the defensive side, but at the moment, it's just pick for trade for trade at the moment. Ryota in the trade position does take down Chawai and Ree. And just like that, we've got now 2 defenders to take on 3 attackers. And this is where it becomes a little bit more difficult for the Resurgence side. They've got to rotate, they've got to cover angles. And if they're not careful, then OJC could be pushing straight through the gap that is.
Ryota, this OJC team has played this just like they needed to get them to the point where they're at now. Up 3-2. They allowed Resurgence to push into them, and they found the kills they needed, and now they have a little bit of an advantage here to push in. It's Faded and Rambo who are tucked in on the objective. So I'm curious to see how OJC will advance forward here. They have plenty of time. 4.5 minutes left on the clock to try and get rid of the 2 defenders.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes is such a long time, especially for this map. You know, they're going to be able to get real close to this objective. So Ryota got to take this ever so slow, but at the moment, Rambo, or at least Faded, has stayed true to his position, just watching a super tight, long angle, and it is an angle that you've got to cross, and OJC should be pretty well aware of that position. It's a very, very common spot, and they should get some pre-fire in as they come around here. But it is going to take a little bit of teamwork and coordination. Nade coming out to try and take out CK from Faded, and he moves back, nearly gets taken down by Ryota as that patience does start to wear thin. Then you got to start moving, and that's the difficult side of Onward. You've got to hold those angles. Rambo with a nice repeat onto Ryota, just take him down, but he is only down. There's the confirm. Yuri tries to get a couple more shots on the Faded, can't quite land them. And CK and Yuri really need to get together and try and work out how they're going to take out Faded and bring Rambo off his position here.
Yeah, it is a solid opportunity again for OJC to get on the board. Yuri catches Rambo. Faded is alone. Yuri and CK need to push together. As Faded swings out to catch one, they're going to look for the double. They don't see Yuri around the corner. Yuri staying tucked in, buying time. They have plenty of it. 3 minutes left. They don't need to be pushing out onto the corner, but if they do, it is going to be a 1v1.
This is edgy as seat kind of action, really. Oh! Yuri makes a rotation at just the wrong time. That onward timing working against him. Faded Pixies at the right time and gets the pick there. So that gives Resurgence the second map, and we go now back into OJC's map pick, and it's a question as to where we're going to actually end up here, as, you know, they do like the bigger maps. Maybe that's going to work better in their favor, you know, get Resurgence out in the open and use those, you know, defensive lines that they're using to great effect and take it to them there. So I imagine maybe Quarantine, as I say.
It is going to be Quarantine, and Quarantine is a risk to pick because you're not quite sure what you're going to get. They do get a relatively easy to defend objective to kick things off, and honestly, they need an objective that they can cap on. Picking into Quarantine, if they can't get a Marsoc win, if they can't find a Marsoc win here, we could end up trading defensive rounds all the way down. In which case Resurgence would take map 3, they'd take the series, they'd advance on to the semis next weekend, Saturday, October 29th. So, there is a lot on the line here now as we do get into this third map, especially for the OJC team. Resurgence also obviously recognizing their chance to get into the semis, their chance at that prize pool, because first, second, and third do get a chunk of the prize pool that comes together from all of our sponsors for VRML, which include ProTube, VR, VR Cover, Asterion, and VRML, all coming together to put that prize pool and hardware and cash together for first, second, and third place. And I guess if you think about it, if you get to the semifinals, Jamie, you're just a game away, a series away from being in the money, so to speak, from being at least third place.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, really, to be just this close, really, and you can see the pressure, you know, and there is a lot on the line. There's so much on offer, really, for the teams that do advance to those 3 spots. So why wouldn't you fight tooth and nail to get there? And that's what we've been seeing today, really. Every single game today has just been a battle for every single side. I don't think any team really has had an easy kind of win, you know, even tonight. It's OJC are taking it to Resurgence. It's just unfortunate they haven't been able to kind of close out those rounds. But I think that last cargo one, they have shown that they've got the ability and the prowess. And they are learning. I wonder how we're going to see this Quarantine map get played now.
Yep, let's see how Resurgence decide to defend out the gate here. It's going to be kind of a quick spawn for OJC on the west side. They'll be able to challenge this defense pretty early if they choose. It looks like they're taking it a little bit slow here as they do shift around that far west side, rotating all the way around up to the garage. This actually may be a pretty good approach, and if Resurgence get a little overconfident on Quarantine here, you could very easily see someone like Ree or any one of those flankers pushing too far away from objective and opening up an opportunity for a cap if they're not too careful.
I'm not seeing anyone at impact.
Yeah, it's definitely something the Resurgence potentially could find themselves falling foul of. You know, those aggressive plays that we saw on Subway and the flanks. I imagine that they're probably going to do something somewhat similar. We can see Chewy very, very far away in the east there. He's kind of getting tempted to go for that north push. And if they're not careful, like you say, he's going to be super far away. And you're relying a lot on the defense there. God of Shinobi now also going to join him over in the east. So we've literally got 3 defenders on the objective, 2 very far away. And the attack coming in from the south southwest. So they haven't really kind of tried to identify the spawn before going for those flanks, and that is, well, that could be pretty detrimental to them on this map.
Kogaru couldn't catch the cross from Shinobi, but shots did come in. Shinobi aware of the threat, and Shawai doesn't seem like they're going to try crossing next. There's the hit from Kogaru to find the first kill for OJC on Quarantine. Definitely kicking off their Marsoc round right. They've got control of gas station side. Definitely looking like a good push so far for OJC on this objective.
Yeah, they using the fact that they know Resurgence are going to be going for those flanks. They are going to be getting aggressive, and they've done well in maps like Cargo and Subway to kind of get a stop to some aggression. But Chawai Chawai will get this pick onto Koguru, but that just gives CK the knowledge that somebody is here and going to try and go in for the push soon. So all he's got to do now is just watch and wait as these big open angles do work against you there. Chawai again, a little bit more aggressive, going further up onto the North Road, going to try and get around behind this OJC offense, and that is something that they really need to be watching out for and prepared for, as that could put a stop to this round before it even really begins. We've got 3 minutes remaining nearly on the clock. Chawai going even further around on the north, but again, it is a defender that's off. We can see the defender here. We can see another laser getting trained onto his position. Don't want to see that team kill coming in, as again, that definitely wouldn't help the situation here. But there's so many red lasers on top of him at the moment. Reed gets the pick onto TK over in mid-burning, though. So the push now has to come in from the southwest. Nice pick by Master onto Faded. Slowly opening up the push onto this objective. 2 minutes 45 remaining. Plenty of time to be able to get around. Chawai too far away from the objective. Rambo now the only defender.
Oh no.
He's got to rely so much on this push. It's got to come back in. He has recognized that. We can see him moving around there, but it may just be too little too late. If OJC can take down Rambo and just push in even just a few smokes on the objective and push around across on the street, I don't even think Rambo would be able to defend against that. He has got the line of sight, but some smokes, we haven't seen any utility as of yet, would certainly block that.
Yes.
There's the first one. Just a couple more to be able to get back in, but Chawai getting back in on the objective. They may have lost their chance here to get the push. He's going to be in a position now to be able to watch from very far back, and they're not going to be prepared for that one at all.
Yeah, Chawai is here in time. Rambo is here and crashing. They're putting suppressive fire through the smokes to make sure nobody is capping. And yeah, it's a little chaotic. Chawai and Rambo need to make sure there's no team kills coming in as Chawai approaches. There it is. Team kill. Ryoto flies the corner. Chawai finds the team
Masa's
kill
made it
and
through.
the confirm. Masa has made it behind Chawai, and they do find the shots. OJC shut down a 8-point streak for Resurgence on their map number 2 pick. They finally do put one on the board, and Quarantine's looking a little bit brighter for OJC. A Marsoc win, no less, Jamie. I mean, that's the perfect start to their map pick.
It is. That team kill was probably what kind of threw things off there. To be fair, it worked in Resurgence's favor because that was a cap. Master had made it around, stayed ever so quiet. The distraction from the hospital was just perfect. If he had just left Chawai to carry on going, that would have been a cap there, and potentially that's what he was thinking. Take that down. There's no defenders around now, and the cap's open. But unfortunately, the team kill there did just put a stop to that. So brilliant play by OJC. The Quarantine really playing to their play style ever so well. And if they can hold out on this, get that momentum going, then there's no stopping them really. There isn't. The only small map really left on the tables now is going to be Tanker. And after that, you're in the big maps. So if they can hold out after this one, then there's no telling what we will see in those remaining maps.
Yeah, just because Resurgence had a powerful start doesn't mean they've got this locked up just yet. They looked good on Subway. They looked good on Quarantine. But OJC were right there with them, finding kills, connecting with nades. Not winning rounds, but battling. And I don't know if Resurgence really recognized that. We'll now see if OJC can pile on, put up a solid defensive hold here, get themselves a 2-0 lead on their second map pick, and push this into a game 4. It's what they need to do. Their backs are against the wall, and so far they're performing well.
That they are. I mean, they've played this map 10 times and won it 9. Resurgence played it once and only won it once. So the stats are certainly in the favor. Some pre-fire there going on to Koguru as he makes it into his position. Gives away the spawn now, and that's a big thing really for the defense. They can now really work out how best to basically shut down the approach coming in through the center. So we can see Yuri has got a nice line of sight through the center of the road there, so no one's going to be able to make that cross. So you're basically just kind of forcing Marsoc into where you want them, and that's a very powerful thing to be able to do, especially on these big maps. Got a Shinobi though with a nice pick onto Koguru will open up that kind of west. Reed there confirming him and calling that out, but I still think that this
I'm using
defense here, they're surrounding the hospital. It's going to be a big task, really, for Resurgence to make the cross and then also connect those kills.
Yeah. It does look a little bit like the Resurgence defense, except they have Masa pushed back a little further, and they don't have anyone on stairs with that height looking down. Yuri is here on the ramp, and CK is watching for that gas station push. The middle, though, really just watched by Yuri and Ryota, and so we'll see if Resurgence do try and just fly up from this middle rubble, push up to the objective space. Yuri almost goes down, so some shots coming in from here, but they don't quite connect.
It's a very, very tough one. You know that you've got to hold the angle, but you just don't want to try. You don't want to get caught out there. Yuri does go down to a trade with Hawaii, but CK is going to be in a position potentially to get the revive. Rambo, though, now pushing back in to come in from the backside of the objective to see what picks he can get. Master coming out in the open. Does get taken down by Rambo, but the CK does get the refrag very quickly there. Revive potentially coming out here, re-watching and waiting for anyone to move around. Faded also got a nice long line of snipe there. The revive does come out, but Faded first time will take him down. So Ryota now the only defender on the outside. CK got to try and defend against the rest of this. And the trade comes out there between Ryota and God of Shinobi. And the revive will come out there. So CK now got to defend against 3 attackers. It's a very, very tough challenge. The nade or flash comes out, should I say. And does seem like God of Shinobi didn't get caught out by that one, so CK will go down, but very, very close one there.
Nice answer back from Resurgence, and almost a hold that comes in from the OJC side, but we're all tied up 1 apiece on quarantine here, and with an objective shift, we'll see how OJC do decide to approach that north OBJ. Definitely a tough one to capture. So I think we may be in store for a Volk trade here instead of Marsoc trades, but we'll have to see because really it's it's anyone's guess at this stage in this quarterfinals. You know, these teams never facing off against each other, and so their strategies are colliding for the first time, and it is interesting, it's exciting to watch. It's why this quarterfinals has been so fun to tune into. We've seen such crazy back and forth across the board, across all of our games here today, and well, Resurgence are fighting to represent the 1 NA team. OJC are fighting to represent the 1 OCE team left in this bracket because the EU squads have dominated, all 3 advancing on. And I'm sure the EU side of things very happy to be tuning into the semis where we'll be able to watch some good games. I mean, it's going to be great games, which I'm really excited about, but we still have to figure out who is our 4th. We could be finding that out at the end of this map if Resurgence can take it, or we could be going to a map 4 if OJC can keep this up, keep taking rounds. Unfortunate they lost their Marsoc round win advantage, but maybe they can regain it here again going into round number 3.
Yeah, and this objective definitely is a difficult one really to kind of work out. I think OJC's kind of playstyle will work really well for them, as you do need to kind of surround the objective and pick apart what defenders you can. And we know the Resurgence are potentially going to go up and get quite up close and personal with the attackers. Has taken a little bit of an advanced position, sitting in the playing rubble there. We got Hawaii going for an aggressive push, though, taking mid-burning. That's not a very common spot, and if OJC aren't watching for this and don't identify it, then the picks certainly could come out. We can see Ryota watching through the building, but until Hawaii actually makes any movements, it seems like he has identified a pixel movement or something there, as that laser's watching on that corner. It was over the last second. Can't quite connect those shots, and more shots coming out from Hawaii. And the call out now has been made that there is a defender in mid-burning, so Hawaii got to move around and try and find another spot, otherwise there is going to be a few lasers trained on his position here.
Same goes for OJC, though. You see Faded's dialed in from White Car here, watching over the tops position from Hawaii, and they get Ryota pushing in. CK rotating around to the wall side now, maybe able to find shots on Hawaii through the gap in that wall if they're fortunate enough. Utility comes in, that does back Hawaii off, and could be rotating around on a flank. Yuri does catch God of Shinobi up through the middle. Ree's still rotating in around the south, and they're not going to catch CK, who has the back of Hawaii, and objectives kind of open. CK could sprint to it right now, Well, maybe not. They do have 1 or 2 defenders still sitting back there, and now Ree's up on the top of the roof here with a great angle down onto anyone that's going to push in from this middle side.
Yeah, it's a very powerful angle, that is. Shots coming out there, he has missed them though, so that does give CK that knowledge. He can now duck behind the rubble, give the call out. There is a defender just behind us, but that's more information for the cap, really. It could just give the push what it needs. We are seeing Koguru coming around all the way in the northeast. And like you said, the objective is somewhat open. If he can take Rambo out, then the cap potentially is there. Get behind the wall and very quickly do it. And if anyone is going to do this, it's probably going to be him. He has made some very good shots, very good movements tonight, and the nades also have definitely been on point. So I'm not ruling this out here, and what a bolster that would be to the OJC kind of confidence, you know. Rambo hasn't really even peaked on the northeast. He isn't anticipating anyone to be here. I imagine the majority of callouts have been about enemies being in the center. The gunshots distracting him as well. And this is just like one of those kind of a series of unfortunate events really for one person. The laser's trained on him, he hasn't looped. Faded takes down CK. And then he's now open and exposed. Koguru definitely got to be seeing this. Just taking it so slow though. He has only got a 12x, but with that angle sight, maybe this isn't going to be the kind of area that you want to be approaching from. Might not be able to catch Rambo off from that back angle, but he's definitely got to get in just a little bit quicker as the distraction from Yuri will be ended. And then at that point, the defenders are going to be checking the north because that's the only last place really that anyone could be.
Yeah, it really is a big risk on their defensive setup right now with Ree here in the middle. It's going to be a trade between them and Uri. Because if Ree hadn't gone down, then it really could have been Koguru. If they could get both kills, they'd have that opportunity for a cap. Now I don't know that a cap is necessarily in the cards. I'm not sure how they would string that together, at least with the approach that they're taking, pushing in through this hole in the wall.
Yeah, the best angle would have been through the immediate kind of exit. He definitely would have been able to pit Rambo off, and then that would have meant Faded's got to kind of get a bit more of a higher up angle there, and they potentially could have seen him above the hill. And like I say, with Ree going down, that certainly has maybe put a stop to this, but at the end of the day, just getting the Marsot win would be great anyway for this side, you know. It's the point that they definitely need. There's the one pick onto Faded, but he gives away the knowledge. Oh, wow! Rambo just narrowly missed those shots, and Koguru pushes straight through and gets the pick. Wow, what a play there. Just fantastic. And this is why we are here in the quarterfinals watching these games.
OJC has come alive on their second map pick of the day, maybe recognizing that Subway wasn't a good choice up against Resurgence. I saw in chat people going, wow, Subway, huh? Like, you know, because they recognize Resurgence as a skilled team on that map. And so Quarantine maybe just the better option from them as they are playing much better here. I mean, what a great clutch there from Koguru to find the final 2 kills. And that's kind of the difference that separated them in a couple of rounds on Subway, even where they were, you know, into that 3v1, 3v2 scenario. They just couldn't find those final kills they needed. And so definitely looking better for the OJC side of things going into this third map. And they've taken another Marsoc round on an objective that, again, I think is hard to do on. So they have an opportunity to push this up 3-1 if they can put up a good, solid defensive hold.
Yeah, I mean, I was anticipating, you know, like I said earlier before the round, their kind of play style potentially will play well into this objective, you know. I think the push in the center there definitely put a stop to anything that was going on, but I think it was also the distraction, really, that Koguru needed to be able to just get into that position. And it was just a fantastic, well-coordinated kind of play, and just that map knowledge and that game awareness really showing there. And it's that experience coming out as well. So Resurgence really got to push back now, get this point back, and keep that pressure on OJC, because if they can run away with these points, then there's no telling what they can do as we go into the last match.
Yeah, like you said, that map pool becomes limited. The close quarters options become limited based off of what we've played already. And so We'll have to see what we get as we do go back into it for round number 4. Resurgence on the attack with the crater spawn. They're going to avoid exposing themselves early. They will deploy a drone, which does have the potential to give away their position. And they're going to continue to charge in from this north side. I wonder if there's any cap on their mind or what that possible play or attempt on the objective could look like if they are all pushing heavily here through this north side, but a little overconfidence could end up impacting them negatively in a major way as they do start to push up here. Yuri does get tagged down. It's a good start for the Resurgence team as they now push forward. Trying to dive into the objective. No, back up to the north side. There's 3 on objective with 1 pretty far away. Koguru has to recognize that the entire team is pushing this objective. The smokes are here and that they're losing their on OBJ defenders. If they don't, could be bad news. A key pickup from Ryota to shut down the push onto the north side, and Resurgence are only down 1 as Ryota has to crash in and defend from a potential cap. Throws the grenade up into the smoke just to again make sure no one's punching in the code there. Maybe able to find the side of Rambo. There goes 1. Faded could be up next as they find Masa. Chawai is going to save their life, and OJC are down to just 1. It's Koguru on the roof, who's not necessarily eyes on objective, nor are they scanning the tablet, and Chawai is pushed up to the wall. Resurgence are going to take this lead 3-1 off of a cap from Chawai. Koguru doesn't go down, and that's going to be what was a good lead from OJC scrapped, and the advantage back into Resurgence's hands.
Yeah, just got to be checking that tablet, haven't you? Really, and you can't get that tunnel vision on what you're doing. You've got to be really well aware of what's going on. I think the downside there for the OJC defense was the fact that they didn't have that long line of sight covering the northeast, so they didn't know the push was coming in until it was already there. Resurgence were allowed to gain so much ground, get so close to the objective that by the time that they did realize, then they're already in a position to get at least 1 attacker through and get the cap there. It was such an unfortunate event, really, but maybe the pressure now being applied back onto OJC could work in their favor. This next objective certainly is one that is capable, and it definitely plays more into Marsok's hand, in my opinion. And with the fact that we know Resurgence are going to be sending defenders on those flanks, the cap opportunity certainly could be open, and it does seem like OJC are being given the south spawn there, so they're going to be pretty close to the objective early on. If they can maintain quiet and not give away the fact that they are here, then the defenders that do go off the objective are going to be opening up this even more so for a cap.
OJC must win this round or they are done with their regular season, and they will not be advancing on to the semifinals. Resurgence a round away from going in the top 4 next weekend, Saturday. Open up, and shots come in. Yuri survives the onslaught. Faded doesn't connect.
No.
But it does give away the spawn for Resurgence.
That he has, but we can see Chawai going all the way into the north. There's the flank that we were kind of anticipating. Got a Shinobi covering the nose of the plane. CK going for the center of burning again. Does take down God of Shinobi as he tries to get into a position. And Resurgence now on the back foot. Really got to watch out for this. If CK can push through from the center, and you've only got Rambo covering the objective at that point, and then the cap is definitely on. It's just having the coordination and the communication with your team for them to give that distraction that you just need. You only need about 3-4 seconds on the objective, and we know that OJC can certainly hold out and allow an attacker to get around on the backside of the objective. It just depends who's going to do that. Ree goes down to CK with a nice peek there through the gap of the wall on from mid-burning. So Faded now all alone, watching for mid-burning also. Not going to be watching for anyone coming through on the hospital. And he could potentially find himself getting picked off from behind. And we have still got Chawai moving around. He's getting in through the center now, going straight for mid-burning. Got to take down CK. Just like that, he does go down, but he gives away that knowledge now that the push is coming in through the center. He is only down, though, so going to also be able to give call-outs to the friendlies that, hey, Chawai's in the center, or maybe not specifically, but, you know, somebody's in the center who can pick him off from the top of the hospital, but Faded with a good pick onto Ryota will take him down then. We're down to 3 as we go down to 2. Chawai devastating here in the center.
I was just thinking this north push could really be effective in shutting down Chawai, getting up onto that roof and having an angle onto the back of them as Koguru does look for that. They can't quite find it, and Chawai continues to push. Yuri here now really kind of stuck in this south side, wondering what their plan of approach should be because they know Chawai is coming. They know they've got a couple of kills, and if anything, Chawai is going to be hearing these footsteps from Yuri now. Both of them aware of each other's presence just across the wall.
Yeah, the auto surprise there has gone out the window, and Chawai does have the knowledge now. Somebody's in this hospital. Faded also knows it as well, so they can potentially work together to just box him in here. But they've really got to watch out for Koguru, as if they get too honed in on Yuri and he's creating that distraction. We saw it in the last Marsalt round that he did get there, so it could potentially be there. Yuri, oh, nicely done. I was just about to say, using the kind of top floor there to get that height advantage to take down Chawai. So we're down to a 2v2 now, and OJC really not going down for a fight. They know what this means, and if they do lose this, they are out. So they're going to give it everything they can.
Faded and Rambo, the final two defenders here. Hopefully Rambo doesn't team kill Faded on this rotation as Faded pushes back towards the objective. Closer, Rambo's still tucked in, and that west up kind of open, depending on how much. One's watching south, one's watching north, middle. It is a risk, but if it's one they will take, as we are into the final two of this round. OJC will eventually have to start their way, working their way up to this defense, and Resurgence really just have to stay tucked in.
Yeah, it's still a very, very tough push though with two. I mean, they've done well to kind of get on the opposite sides of the defense here. A well-coordinated attack could find Rambo getting pincered and taken down himself, and then Faded has to make that rotation where he could find himself getting picked off there, but it has to come in now. 1 minute 45. Yuri is pretty far away really at the moment. He's got to make some ground and get in onto the objective, or at least closer through the gas station, and start challenging the defense, or at least just draw Rambo's attention as Koguru makes his rotation as well. It's all very tough, but that time, it's ever so dwindling down. 1 minute 30 now remaining. It's always one thing that you got to be battling against on this game.
Koguru's on the backside, second floor here. If Rambo's not careful, they could be exposed. Meanwhile, Yuri is pushing up onto Faded's position behind the Heskos. Is Faded going to be holding the south side? Watching for this cross out. They do see it, but Yuri has already made their way past Faded's line of sight, so now they can get inside gas station. Is Faded going to be aware? They do pop up and connect. Rambo not looking for Koguru behind them as Koguru works in around this defense. Is there a cap route here? Once they take shots on Faded, there won't be. Oh my gosh. Can't connect there. Faded's still alive. C4 detonated. Rambo on the close side, and Resurgence find the final kill. They take map number 3, and they eliminate OJC from contention in World Finals.
Yeah, that is all she wrote really on that one. It was very, very tough. I think the cap really there is what kind of dealt the final blow. Had they been able to kind of carry on with the Marsalt momentum maybe, then that may have been a very different round there, but commiserations really to the OJC side. You know, they played ever so well. It's a very tough one when you haven't been playing these sides regularly through the season, so you're not 100% as to what they're going to be doing, and that aggression, that fast play, it was just devastating to their play style. So just very well played though to Resurgence on their commanding victory really.
Yeah, a very solid job from them here this afternoon. A total scoreline of 12-2 at the end of the day. They take all 3 maps. We don't go to a 4th or 5th, and it's Resurgence representing NA advancing on into an EU heavy pool. They've got their hands full against some of the best teams in the EU region, all 3 of them challenging up against Resurgence, and then ultimately all of them competing against each other for a chance at that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd position worldwide for Season 13. That begins again October 29th. That's next weekend, next Saturday. It's going to be live here at twitch.tv/VR Master League for both series, so you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be an action-packed day of games. And then the finals, October 5th. Saturday. Again, do not miss any of this postseason action. It is going to be extremely hyped. We're going to have giveaways live on these channels. I think I said we'd do at least one giveaway here today, and so if anyone is still around, we will do one giveaway. If you enter the code October 29 without any spaces, and October 29 without any spaces, that will enter you into the code. Entering it more than once will disqualify you, and we will be choosing a winner for a mouse and keyboard set from HyperX. So we'll be reaching out to you shortly, and congratulations to whoever we are picking right now. I don't know who it is, but we will reach out to you in chat and get that information so we can ship out your winnings. But reminder, October 29, if you haven't remembered already because you've written it down to enter into the competition. And also a reminder that that mice and keyboard competition is only for U.S. participants. So if you're not from the U.S., I guess enter it in again so you get disqualified, because it is only for U.S. participants. We are hoping that we can get the EU giveaways going again, but for now, we only have products from HyperX to give away to the U.S. side of things. So again, that'll be October 29 to enter into the giveaway. You have to be on the U.S. side and only enter it in once if you don't want to be disqualified. We are going to be signing off here, though, and so a quick shout out to our sponsors, again, contributing into the prize pool. It's Pro2 VR with fantastic haptic feedback stocks and stocks that help stabilize your aim in-game in any of your favorite shooters. VR Cover, offering great comfort options for any of your favorite VR devices. Asterion, offering great RGB mounts for any of your headsets with charging ports built in, as well as mats that help you identify your play space by where you are standing versus where you are, how close you are to a wall, so you know before you get to the wall that you're there. They're really a great tool. You can get $5 off any Asterion purchase by going to AsterionProducts.com and using the code VRML 5 off Asterion, the number 5. Again, VRML 5 off Asterion. That'll get you $5 off any purchase over $19.98, technically, but $20 to make it easy. And yeah, do head over there, use that code, get your discount, get your RGB setup, get your mat. They're a fantastic sponsor. And obviously VRML contributing into the prize pool. I think that'll be it for us here on the desk. A shout out to everyone tuning in, whether you're on twitch.tv/VR Master League, Facebook, YouTube, or Horizon Venues, Meta Horizon Worlds, excuse me. We appreciate your support and hanging out. We'll see you all again October 29th for more postseason action, the semifinals. You don't want to miss it. But that's going to be it for us here today. My name's been NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Jamie. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all October 29th.